For over a century, a secret lay buried beneath the sands of Egypt, a royal tomb so elusive it was considered little more than a myth. While the world marveled at Tutankhamun, the final resting place of another powerful pharaoh, Thutmose II, remained lost to time. Archaeologists searched, scholars debated, but the desert held its silence. Until now, what you are about to hear is the story of a discovery that is rewriting history, a find so monumental it is being hailed as the most significant since Howard Carter stumbled upon the steps to King Tut's tomb. This isn't just about gold or treasure. It's about unlocking the secrets of a mysterious ruler and his powerful queen, Hatshepsut. So, how did they find it? And what shocking truths were unearthed? Let's rewind. Thutmose II was a pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, the golden age of ancient Egypt. He was the son of the great conqueror, Thutmose I, and the husband of one of history's most formidable women, Hatshepsut. His reign, however, has always been a puzzle. It was short, lasting maybe a dozen years, and overshadowed by his wife, who would later declare herself pharaoh, while the tombs of his father, his wife, and his famous successor, Thutmose III, were all found in the Valley of the Kings. His own tomb was conspicuously missing. His mummy was found, but not in its original burial place. It had been moved in antiquity to a royal cache, a secret hiding spot to protect it from tomb robbers. This left a burning question for Egyptologists. Where was his tomb, KV-42? For decades, the designation KV-42 was assigned to a small, unfinished tomb believed to be his, but the evidence was flimsy, the decorations sparse. It just didn't feel right for a king of his stature. The search continued, but leads ran cold, and many believed the tomb was either completely destroyed or would never be found. Enter Dr. Piers Litherland and his team from the University of Cambridge. For years, they had been re-examining old survey maps and satellite imagery of a less explored area just west of the main Valley of the Kings. They were drawn to a series of subtle, almost imperceptible depressions in the ground, formations that could suggest man-made structures buried beneath millennia of flood debris. It was a long shot. The area was considered exhausted, picked clean by generations of archaeologists and treasure hunters. But Dr. Litherland had a hunch, a theory based on a few obscure hieroglyphic fragments that hinted at a high place or a cliff tomb for Thutmose II, away from the main valley floor. In the blistering heat of the Egyptian summer, the team began to dig. For weeks, they found nothing but sand and rock. Morale was low. Funding was running out. It seemed another dead end. Then, one afternoon, a worker's shovel hit something that wasn't rock. It was a solid, flat surface. Carefully, they brushed away the sand, revealing a single, smooth block of limestone. It was the top of a sealed entrance. The excitement was electric, but they had to be cautious. Was it a tomb? Was it just an unfinished shaft? As they cleared more debris, a faint inscription came into view. The team's hieroglyphics expert was called over. His hands trembled as he traced the symbols. The cartouche was unmistakable. Menkhepper, the throne name of Thutmose II. They had found it. After 3,000 years of silence, the lost tomb was about to see the light of day. The moment of entry was something straight out of a movie. With the world's media held at a distance, the team made a small opening in the sealed doorway, just as Howard Carter had done a century before. A rush of stale, ancient air met them. Dr. Litherland shone a torch into the darkness. The beam cut through the gloom, glinting off something in the distance. Gold, everywhere. Unlike Tutankhamen's tomb, which had been breached by robbers in ancient times, this one appeared completely untouched. The first chamber, the antechamber, was filled with burial goods of unimaginable beauty. Gilded chariots, intricate pieces of furniture, chests overflowing with jewelry, and statues of the king and his gods, all perfectly preserved. It was a breathtaking sight, a time capsule from the height of Egyptian power. But this was just the beginning. As they ventured deeper, they moved from the antechamber into the burial chamber itself. And there, in the center of the room, sat a magnificent sarcophagus of red quartzite. The lid was still in place, the seals unbroken. This was the moment of truth. Was the pharaoh still inside? Remember, his mummy had been found in the royal cache. So what, or who, was in this sarcophagus? The team gathered, hearts pounding. As the heavy lid was slowly lifted, the air was thick with anticipation. Inside, there were no human remains. Instead, neatly arranged, were a series of canopic jars containing the king's preserved organs and, astonishingly, a second, smaller sarcophagus. This inner coffin was made of solid gold, exquisitely decorated with the image of a woman. It was Queen Hatshepsut, depicted not as a pharaoh, but as the great royal wife. This was the first shocking revelation. The tomb was not just for him. It was a joint tomb, intended for both king and queen. This completely changes our understanding of their relationship, suggesting a much closer partnership than previously thought. But the biggest shock was yet to come. On the walls of the burial chamber, the decorations told a story that defied everything we knew about Thutmose II's reign. The traditional narrative is that he was a weak ruler, sick for most of his life, with Hatshepsut running the country as his regent before seizing power for herself after his death. But the inscriptions here painted a different picture. They depicted a vibrant, active pharaoh leading military campaigns into Nubia and the Levant. They showed him overseeing massive building projects and most importantly, the texts described him not as sickly, but as being struck down suddenly by a divine blow, what modern experts now speculate could have been a sudden, violent illness, or perhaps even an assassination. This tomb wasn't built for a king expected to die soon. It was built for a king with a long and glorious reign ahead of him, a reign that was cut brutally short. The discovery also solves the mystery of why his mummy was moved. The tomb's location, in a wadi prone to flash floods, was its undoing. Evidence suggests that just a few decades after the burial, a catastrophic flood filled the tomb with debris, sealing it and hiding it from view, but also making it impossible for priests to access for ritual purposes. It was likely at this point that they staged a rescue mission, breaking into the flooded tomb to retrieve the king's body and move it to the safety of the royal cache, leaving the treasures and the sarcophagi behind, entombed by mud and rock. This act of nature is what inadvertently protected it from robbers for 3 millennia. The treasures themselves are now being carefully cataloged, and each one is a masterpiece. There's a ceremonial dagger with a blade made from meteoric iron, a technology far more advanced than previously thought for that era. There's a board game cenote with playing pieces made of ivory and obsidian, offering a glimpse into the pharaoh's leisure time. And there are papyrus scrolls, thousands of them, that could contain everything from royal decrees to personal letters. These texts are a historian's dream, and it will take decades to translate and understand them all. They promise to give us an unprecedented, intimate look into the court of Thutmose II and Hatshepsut. So what does this all mean? The discovery of Thutmose II's true tomb isn't just about finding gold. It's about recovering a lost chapter of history. It forces us to reevaluate the reign of a pharaoh long dismissed as a minor figure. It shines a new light on the complex and powerful relationship he had with his wife, Hatshepsut, and it provides a spectacular, untouched window into the wealth, artistry, and beliefs of Egypt's 18th dynasty. The excavation is ongoing, and every day brings new questions and new wonders. The story of Thutmose II is no longer a footnote. It is now a headline, a stunning saga of power, mystery, and a secret kept by the sand for over 3,000 years. The greatest find since Tutankhamun, without a doubt. And the secrets it's revealing are only just beginning to be told. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible stories from history.